She asked me to pretend, to stay quiet. To stay invisible, while she walked in alone. So I let her be single. For real. That night changed everything. Soon she regretted it very much. It changed her life forever. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new stories. I said yes that night already knowing I was done. She was fixing her makeup and casually asked if I was still coming later. I nodded, drove her to the party, watched her step out of the car, then went home, packed my things, and erased myself from her life. At midnight she called asking for a ride. I told her I was still pretending and hung up. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit like if you want more stories like this. I know how the title sounds. It feels dramatic, like a snap decision over one bad comment. But anyone who has ever dated a climber knows the truth. Endings are never caused by a single sentence. They are built from hundreds of small ones you ignore because you want to believe you matter. What she said in the car was just the receipt. I had already paid in full. Here is the setup. I am 29. I work in back-end logistics for a major shipping company. The job is stable, well paid, and according to my ex-girlfriend Lily, who was 26, painfully boring. Lily liked to call herself a lifestyle curator, which is influencer language for unemployed with expensive taste. For 2 years, I paid the rent on our downtown apartment. I covered the lease on the Audi she loved taking photos in. I paid for the dinners she posted, the trips she tagged, and the clothes she showed off. In exchange, I was allowed to exist quietly in the background of her life. A useful accessory. Something that kept the lights on while she waited for her real life to begin. The night everything ended, we were heading to a launch party for a new boutique agency. For her, this was a big deal. Influencers, local celebrities, and most importantly, a few venture capital guys she was desperate to impress. She spent 3 hours getting ready. She looked incredible. Red dress, perfect hair, the kind of look that makes people stare. But something felt off in the car. Normally, I would drive with one hand and hold hers with the other. That night, she was pressed against the passenger door, aggressively scrolling through her phone checking the guest list. She kept sighing, glancing at me, then back at her screen. "You're wearing that?" she asked without looking up. I glanced down at my suit. Charcoal, tailored. "It is a suit, Lily. It is fine." She muttered that it looked too corporate, locked her phone, and pulled down the visor to check her lipstick again. "Ethan is not going to be in a suit," she said. "He will be wearing designer streetwear. You look like you are here to audit them." Ethan was the host, the target, the trust fund guy she wanted access to. I said nothing and kept driving. We were 5 minutes away. She snapped the visor shut and turned toward me. The air in the car changed. This was not the quiet comfort of a couple. It was the tense pause of a manager about to correct an employee. "Listen," she said, her voice dropping into that artificial sweetness she used when she wanted something expensive. "Tonight is really important for my brand. Like career defining. I need to network." "Actually network?" I nodded and said I understood. That I was there to support her. She hesitated. "The optics are complicated though. If I walk in with a boyfriend, especially one who looks so safe, it ruins the vibe. Guys like Ethan invest in availability. They want to feel like they discovered someone. If I am taken, I become invisible." Something cold clicked in my chest. The last thread snapped. "So what are you asking me to do, Lily?" She took a breath and smoothed her dress. "Can you pretend you are not with me tonight? Just for the party. Park her on the corner. Come in 10 minutes after me. If anyone asks, say we are roommates or friends. Do not stand near me. Do not hold my hand. Definitely do not kiss me. Just let me be the main character for a few hours." She looked at me with hopeful eyes, waiting for me to fold. Waiting for me to be the supportive boyfriend who believed in her dreams, even when those dreams required erasing me. In the past, I would have argued. I would have been hurt. I would have asked why I was not enough. But that night, there was nothing. No anger, no sadness, just clarity. I looked at her and realized I was not looking at my partner anymore. I was looking at a liability. I smiled calmly and said okay. She blinked, surprised. "Really? You do not mind?" "Not at all," I said. "I hope you get exactly what you are looking for tonight." She clapped her hands and thanked me. She had no idea Asterisk I pulled up near the venue, a converted warehouse district that smelled like money and ego. There was a valet at the entrance, but following her instructions, I drove past it and slowed near the corner. "Give me 10 minutes," she said, and clipping her seatbelt. She checked her reflection one last time. She did not say "I love you." She did not even say "see you inside." Instead, she told me not to come in before a specific time. Then she opened the door, stepped out into the city lights, and walked toward the entrance without looking back. The moment she reached the line, her posture changed. Her shoulders lifted. Her smile switched on. She waved to someone she recognized and instantly became the version of herself she wanted the world to see. I watched her disappear behind the velvet ropes. Then I put the car in drive, made a clean U-turn, and headed home. The drive back was the quietest 20 minutes of my life. I turned the radio off. I needed silence. I knew the layout of our apartment perfectly. I knew what belonged to me, what belonged to her, and what was technically shared but not worth arguing over. People later asked why I moved out even though I was the one paying the rent. The answer is simple. Evictions take months. Leaving takes an hour. I did not want a confrontation. I did not want tears, screaming, or being manipulated into staying one more month while she figured things out. I wanted to be gone. I wanted to become a ghost. Whatever money I lost on the security deposit was the cost of freedom. I parked in the garage and took the elevator up. It was 9:25 p.m. She was probably ordering her first drink, scanning the room for Ethan. Assuming I was circling the block looking for parking. I opened the apartment door. It smelled like her perfume and the expensive candles I had paid for. I went straight to the bedroom and pulled out my 2 large suitcases and my gym bag. The rules were simple. Essentials only: clothes, shoes, toiletries, high-value items, my watches, my laptop, external hard drives, all personal documents, passport, non-replaceables. The photo of my grandfather, my signed books, my PlayStation. Those were non-negotiable. I moved with focus, like someone cleaning a crime scene. I cleared my side of the closet in 10 minutes. Suits, shirts, jeans, folded and packed. I emptied my nightstand. In the bathroom, I swept my toiletries into a bag. I left the furniture. I left the television. I left the kitchen supplies. That was just stuff. Stuff can be replaced. Dignity cannot. At 9:55 p.m., the bags were lined up by the door. I sat at the kitchen island and opened my banking app. We had a joint account for household expenses, which mostly meant her Sephora runs and groceries that were actually wine. I transferred exactly half of the balance into my personal savings. I left her portion untouched. I was not stealing. I was closing accounts. Then I removed my credit card from her rideshare apps, her shopping accounts, and the food delivery services connected to my phone. At 10:15 p.m., I carried the bags down to the car. I did one final walkthrough. The apartment looked strangely normal, just emptier. My side of the vanity was bare. My side of the bed was neatly made. I did not leave a note. A note implies unfinished business. A note suggests I wanted her to understand. I did not need understanding. The irony of her request, "Pretend you are not with me," was that it gave me permission to make it permanent. I placed my key on the kitchen counter next to the empty wine bottle she had finished while getting ready. I walked out, closed the door, and heard the lock click. I got into the car, blocked her number, and drove to a downtown hotel. I checked into a suite, ordered a bourbon, and sat by the window overlooking the city. I checked the time. It was 10:45 p.m. She probably had not even noticed I was gone yet. She was too busy performing, but the night was still young, and consequences were just waking up. I was halfway through my second bourbon when my phone lit up. It was 12:42 a.m. I was sitting in a quiet armchair in the hotel suite. City lights stretched out beneath the window. The silence felt expensive. No reality shows in the background. No complaints about my boring job. Just calm. My phone had been buzzing on and off since around 10. Messages asking where I was, why I was not answering, and finally, where the car was parked. I did not open any of them. I just watched the screen glow and fade like a warning signal for a ship I was no longer on. But at 12:42, it stopped being texts. The phone rang. I let it ring 3 times. took a slow sip of bourbon, then answered and put it on speaker. Her voice came through sharp and unsteady, a mix of panic and anger. I could hear wind hitting the microphone. She was outside. Where the hell are you? She demanded. Hello, Lily, I said calmly, like I was answering a customer support line. Do not hello me, she snapped. I have been standing outside for 20 minutes. The valet says the car is not here. Did you move it? I told you to wait around the corner. I did not move it, I said. I left. There was silence. Just wind and distant traffic. You left, she repeated, her voice dropping, confusion replacing rage. What do you mean you left? You went to get gas. No. I went home. You went home. Panic rushed in. Why would you do that? You have the car. How am I supposed to get back? My feet hurt and it is freezing. Take an Uber, I suggested. I cannot, she snapped. My phone is on 4% and surge pricing is insane. Just come get me. Hurry up. I'm cold. There was no please. No apology. Just the expectation of service. So I asked, slowly swirling the ice in my glass. How did the networking go? Did you close the deal with Ethan? She sniffed. Do not be an ass. Ethan is nothing. He is fake. He left with some 19-year-old influencer an hour ago. The party sucked. I just want to go home. Come get me. And there it was. The plan failed. The upgrade did not happen. The fantasy collapsed. And suddenly she needed the safety net again. She needed the background character to pick her up so she could complain about how unfair everything was. I cannot pick you up, Lily, I said. Why not? Are you drunk? No, I said, leaning back. I'm just following your instructions. What instructions? What are you talking about? In the car, I said. You asked me to pretend I was not with you tonight. You said it was important for your brand. You wanted to look single, independent. She groaned, frustration boiling over. I meant for the party, you idiot. The party is over. You can stop pretending now. I looked out at the city lights below. Millions of lives moving forward. And I felt something settle permanently. That is the thing, Lily, I said quietly. I am not pretending anymore. I am actually not with you. Stop joking, she said, but her voice shook. This is not funny. Come get me. I am not joking. You wanted to be single. Congratulations. You got it. She broke then. Please, I am freezing. Just come get me. I am still pretending, I said. And I ended the call. I slept deeper than I had in years. The kind of sleep you only get when a heavy weight finally lifts off your chest. I woke up at 8:00 a.m. to a notification screen that looked like a disaster zone. 47 missed calls from Lily. 12 missed calls from her best friend, Maya. Over 80 unread messages. I ordered room service, Eggs Benedict, and coffee. Then I slowly scrolled while I ate. It was a perfect timeline of emotional collapse. At 1:00 a.m. Denial. Pick up the phone. Stop playing games. I had to take an Uber and it cost $90. You are paying for this. At 1:45 a.m. Anger. Where are your things? Why is the closet empty? Where is your PlayStation? Did we get robbed? At 2:15 a.m. Bargaining. Please call me. I am scared. Why is your key on the counter? Did I do something wrong? We can talk about this. At 3:30 a.m. Depression. I cannot stop crying. How could you do this to me? I love you. Please come home. By 6:00 a.m. Acceptance mixed with rage. You are a narcissistic psycho. Maya says what you did is emotional abuse. Abandoning me downtown is literal violence. I hope you rot. I took a sip of coffee and opened Maya's message. She had always been the loudest voice in Lily's friend group. Single, angry, and deeply convinced that all men were garbage. Stranding a woman in the city at night is violence. She is devastated. You better fix this or I am blasting you online. I did not argue. I did not explain. I simply took a screenshot of a message Lily had sent me 3 weeks earlier. Can you send the rent early? I bought that bag for the event and I am short. Then I replied to Maya. She asked me to pretend we were not together. I respected her request. Also, rent is due on the 1st. It is in her name. Make sure she handles it. Then came the logistics. Around 10:00 a.m. I received an automated email from the apartment complex saying rent payment was pending. I logged into the portal and removed my bank account as a payment method. Next, I logged into the utility accounts, power, internet, cable, all under my name. I did not shut anything off. That would be illegal in some places. Instead, I scheduled service transfers and cancellations for 48 hours later. She had 2 days to figure it out. At noon, I finally checked social media. Lily had posted a long Instagram story. White text on a black background. I never post personal things, but last night was the scariest night of my life. I was abandoned downtown by the person I trusted most. Blindsided, heartbroken. It is terrifying how little you can know someone. Survivor. It was well executed. The comments flooded in. Men are trash. You deserve better. Stay strong, queen. I felt a flicker of irritation. Then I kept scrolling. The next story was from the agency that hosted the party. A recap reel. Music, lights, champagne. And there she was in the background, leaning into Ethan, laughing too hard, touching his arm, trying. Ethan looked bored. His eyes were already scanning the room. In the next clip, he was leaving with a stunning brunette who was very clearly not Lily. I did not need to respond to her narrative. No one cared about her breakup drama as much as she thought they did. 2 days later, the real fallout arrived. I received an email from Lily. She was blocked everywhere else, so this was her last option. Subject line: please read. I do not know where you are. I am sorry about the party. I was stressed. I did not mean it. But you have to pay the rent. The leasing office says it is overdue. I do not have it. You know, I do not have it. If we do not pay, they are going to evict me. Please just cover this month, and we can figure everything out. I read it twice. This was the woman who called me boring, who said I played it safe, who believed she was destined for luxury and high-status men. And now she was realizing that her entire lifestyle had been funded by the man she was embarrassed to be seen with. I hit reply. I am sorry, but I cannot help. I am saving my money for someone who is proud to stand next to me. You wanted independence. Independence starts with paying your own bills. Good luck with the brand. 3 months passed. My life changed quietly but completely. I moved into a new apartment, a loft in the industrial district with exposed brick and zero minimalist nonsense. I bought the leather couch I always wanted. I started going to the gym at 6 in the morning, because I no longer stayed up late listening to someone complain about how hard it is to be an influencer with no real audience. I was calmer, clearer. My bank account recovered fast now that it was no longer bleeding money into brunch spots and makeup stores. I knew Lily was struggling. A few mutual friends, the ones who did not immediately take her side, told me she had been evicted about a month after I left. She was crashing on Maya's couch. Apparently, Maya's all men are trash philosophy started to feel less inspiring when utilities needed to be paid. I assumed Lily would fade out of my life, but people like her do not disappear. They reload. It happened on a Tuesday. I was walking out of my office building for lunch when I saw her standing near the planters, holding a large manila envelope. She looked different. The shine was gone. Her hair was pulled into a messy bun that looked less stylish and more exhausted. She was wearing old yoga pants, not the designer outfits she used to parade online. She spotted me and forced a shaky smile. Hey. I stopped, keeping distance. Lily, what are you doing here? She hesitated. Some of your mail went to Maya's old place. The forwarding must have missed it. It looked important. I did not want you to get in trouble. She held out the envelope. It was junk mail from a credit card company. She knew it. I knew it. The mail excuse. Oldest trick in the book. You could have marked it returned to sender, I said, not taking it. Her hand dropped. Her eyes filled instantly. A performance I had seen countless times. I miss you, she whispered. I just wanted to see you. I checked my watch. I am on lunch break. Lily, can we talk? Just 5 minutes. She stepped closer, crossing a boundary. I messed up. Okay. I know I did. But you have to understand the pressure I was under. I was not hiding you because I was embarrassed. I was trying to build a future for us. I wanted to make it so we could have the life we talked about. It was an impressive rewrite of history. You did not do it for us, I said flatly. You did it because you thought you could do better. You thought I was a stepping stone, and when you tried to jump, you slipped. That is not true, she said quickly. wiping her eyes. I love you. I have been miserable without you. Living with Maya is a nightmare. I just want to come home. I do not care about the parties anymore. I just want you. She reached for my hand. Her grip was desperate. I looked at her hand, then at her face. I felt no anger, no satisfaction, just exhaustion. You do not miss me, Lily. You miss the logistics of me. You miss the rent getting paid. You miss the car. You miss the safety. She stared at me, confused. You miss having a fan in the audience, I continued. But the seat is empty now, and I am not buying another ticket. I gently pulled my hand away. Keep the mail, I said. I have to get back to work. I walked past her. She called my name twice. I did not turn around. Not because I was pretending not to hear her. Because I genuinely did not care. 2 months later, I was at my company's holiday party. It was held at an upscale rooftop lounge. Ironically, the kind of place Lily used to beg to get into but never could afford. I was not alone. Her name was Emma. We met at the gym. She was an architect, smart, grounded, quietly confident. She drove her own car, paid for her own drinks, and most importantly, she never treated me like background noise. We were standing near the bar laughing at a bad joke my boss had made. Emma's hand rested easily on my lower back. She leaned in to say something in my ear, smiling. That is when I noticed the catering staff. It was not unusual. Influencer dreams do not pay rent, so catering and promo gigs tend to appear when money runs out. Lily was there. She stood near the entrance holding a tray of champagne glasses. Black uniform, cheap flats, tired posture. People walked past her without eye contact. She was finally invisible. Then she looked up and saw me. She froze. The tray shook slightly in her hands. She took in the scene. Me in the tailored suit she once mocked. My boss clapping me on the shoulder. Emma beside me, calm, confident, real. Emma laughed and brushed a piece of lint from my lapel with casual affection. Lily's mouth opened slightly. I could see the realization land. I had not just moved on. I had moved up. She took a step forward, like she might approach me. Like she might try to use our past as a way back into a room she could no longer enter. She mouthed my name. Emma noticed my attention drift and followed my gaze. Do you know her? She asked softly. I looked at Lily, at the tray in her hands, at the desperation in her eyes, begging to be acknowledged. And I remembered the car ride, the request. Pretend you are not with me. I turned back to Emma, smiled, and pulled her a little closer. No, I said, clearly. Just someone I used to know. I turned my back. Emma squeezed my hand as we walked toward the balcony to look out over the city lights. I did not look back to see if Lily was watching. I already knew she was. But for the first time in years, I was not pretending. I was exactly where I belonged.